I don't think so.
Pretty sure I did. All right, pushing the button
Hooray.
and go.
Welcome
Turn address.
to the show. Really good show.
Pretty sure I did.
I need to
All
mute
right.
the stream because I'm an idiot. That's wonderful. I am your host, Jay Fry, and with me is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's going quite well.
And Josh?
It's going all right.
All right.
Let's address
a
who's
little
not
inside.
Here. Let's address who's not here and why he's
Let's
not here.
address that. Okay, go ahead and take control. Who's not here?
Swampy is not here, and Swampy is not here
Why
because
the fuck not?
He is big timing us because he'd rather be on the Ski Doggy Hour.
Pretty much.
We're not making any viewers by shitting on Ski Doggy.
Well, despite I was
But
looking
aside
at,
from that,
I was looking at last week's numbers. Average view time is 1.5 minutes.
score.
So yeah, we got a lot of views, but we did not. They did not stick around.
A little inside baseball here. Our average viewership is like the 5 people who are here, and then another 5 people at some point throughout the week.
Usually, aren't we single? And it's amazing if we get in the double.
well, on my old account, it was like 12. Like we averaged 12 viewers on the live stream, and I got like 20, 30, sometimes 50 or 70. Here it's usually been somewhere between like 12 and 25. Last week's stream, for some reason, garnered about 250 views. So on a personal note, I would like to explain to the Secret Service that I have no desire to harm Joe Biden, and please knock. Don't tase me, bro.
I will come answer the door for you. Just be patient. I'm on my way. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just the picture of Joe Biden being Joe Biden's biggest threat.
Yeah, like don't tase me, bro, please. Just don't do it. It's I don't need that kind of I rent, I don't own, so it would not be good for anybody if my door was broken. Yes, Stephen, that is a large Latinx at the border. For your question, does anybody have anything they just want to start with, like for funsies?
The Virginia gun ban got defeated in the Senate.
Yeah,
The
that's
Virginia,
good.
yeah, it did.
A couple of
It wasn't really. I mean, like Bloomberg's just throwing around the money. Arizona's got one going. Massachusetts has one going.
Oklahoma.
I think Maine has one.
Too. But it ain't gonna.
Speaking of, I was reading about.
Go ahead.
I was reading about a double homicide in BA yesterday.
Oh, really?
Anything about that? Yeah.
No, I haven't really read about that.
All right then, fair enough. I actually haven't read up on the band getting shut down. What are they just trying for a registration now, or is there anything?
I don't know.
Do you have any information on it?
Apparently, there's 3 other bills that are still under review for the state Senate, but four Democratic state senators decided that they like their jobs, and since there's an election in 2021, they had a motion. They didn't defeat it. They just pushed it out a year. So this will come up next year in February in Virginia. But next year they have their state elections the year after the general election for the nation. So instead of 2020 being an election year, 2021 is an election year for the state. And then they're going to run on it then.
Yeah, I heard from Obama, if you like your job, you can keep your job.
Not if the open borders crowd has their way.
No.
You're going to have to give it to an immigrant.
Mm-hmm. All right, I was on Facebook earlier, and I saw this. It's a total meme and bullshit, but it's a celebration of Black history, and I think it's kind of digging on like the Black Panther being the first African American superhero movie, like how it's mistakenly that's the claim. Because we all know there's Spawn, yeah, Spawn, Blank Man, Meteor Man. What? I thought you said somebody else. Blade. You know, like there's tons of pre Black Panther. Anyway, this is for Black history. In 1999, James Todd Smith, better known as LL Cool J, became the first black man in horror movie history to survive the whole movie.
I'm trying to think of what movie he would have survived.
Well, in 2000, he survived H2O. But in 99, he was in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which had one of the better, like, I really appreciate them hiring Samuel L. Jackson to kill Samuel L. Jackson. At, like a pivotal point. I really enjoyed that.
That was so great.
But I was like, didn't Anaconda come out before? Like, nearly only minorities survived that fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
But so they're saying 1999 and LL Cool J, and that got just people storming. And I had to think of a couple, and I thought of Reggie from Friday the 13th Part 5. And then some of the others what's his name? Little Reckless or something like that. Miguel Nunez played the cousin that he was singing in the toilet and he got speared through the outhouse. He didn't survive, but he did survive in the Leprechaun in Space movie, which took place in 97. But we also had Ken Foray. He's big name in horror. He survived in 1978 from the original Dawn of the Dead. Now, I don't know if this one counts, but it being a miniseries, but Black Guy survived in it. I cannot think of the name of the guy from Night of the Demons, but he survived, and that was early 80s. Steven will appreciate that one. But Jada Pinkett Smith survived in Demon Knight. Like, it's almost to the point where it's more of an exception than the rule that black people die in horror.
Yeah. Well, she
Kincaid from
Demon Knight.
Yeah. Kincaid from Friday the 13th, or from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 survived, though he did get killed off in 4. They killed off everybody from 3. They're like, hey, let's bring back these 3 characters and then kill them. There was an interesting debate that went around. I said Keith David from The Thing from 1982.
Mhm.
But it is under contention whether or not Keith David survived.
I thought only Kurt Russell survived.
Well, that's the contention. No, well, actually, that was also under contention. Um, Kurt Russell and Keith David survived at the end. They were moving around at the end of the movie. However, the fan theory is, because no one will commit to anything, is that Keith David was actually a creature, and the drink they share at the very end of the movie, Kurt Russell takes the bottle, puts it to his mouth, and then hands it to Keith David. And he takes a big swig. In that conversation, Kurt Russell's blowing out, you know, what's it called when you see the breath?
Condensation?
I mean, well, yeah, but what's it? Is there like a word for it? Like the breath you can see in the cold?
Yeah, just condensation.
Yeah. It's
Well, the
like,
condensation from his lungs. Keith David's character doesn't have it. And the theory is they were filling up Molotovs from the bottles, so that it was full of petrol instead of alcohol. And Kurt Russell's character faked drinking the condensation, or Jesus Christ, the Molotov cocktail fluid, handed it to Keith David, who then took a drink. And because he's an alien creature, he didn't recognize that what he was drinking wasn't alcohol. And neither of them got off the island, as it were, as well. So they both froze to death, if anything.
well, the
because
creature could survive. It would just be thawed later.
Yeah, I mean, it would go into stasis. It would effectively be dead. It's not hurting anybody. Is it fog? I don't know. Exhalation, foggy exhalation, whatever the hell you call it. Yeah, but he wasn't putting out fog. Whatever. So that was an interesting conversation that I had, which kind of makes you think. I don't really get too deep into it. I try to like take a movie and just kind of let it hit me. Like I'm watching Jack Bryan season 2 right now, and they had at one point they get into an ambush, and there's an IED that goes off, but it beeps down like a timer and then explodes. But it was a cell phone, so that wasn't a timer. It would have been a phone call, so it would have been a phone ring instead of a beep 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 beep, beep boom. I was like, it really takes me out of a show or whatever I'm watching, so I try not to think about it at the time. Like, have you seen Us?
I have not.
The newest Jordan Peele movie? Oh, well then I won't ruin it for you.
Have you seen The Witcher yet?
Yeah, I saw it months ago.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here and gonna head to bed since I gotta get my ass up early at 4:30 in the morning. So,
well, wait, before you go, you've been big timing us for your CDL studying. How'd that go?
I passed.
Hurrah!
Look at that! Oh, well worth
Watch
it.
out! I have a Class B license, so therefore
Yeah.
I'm just harsher if I get pulled over.
Who are you telling look out to? The curbs?
What?
He said look out. I'm like, who you warning? The curbs?
I'm warning in case I get pulled over for speeding. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. Well, don't speed.
Yeah, I know. So, all right, fellas.
All right, man.
Have a good one.
Talk to you. Good
Catch
night.
you later.
Later.
Okay.
And then there were 2.
Yep. And since it doesn't show up when I talk, I'm just going to go ahead and change the picture until somebody else joins us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just do this.
Sounds like a plan.
I've been trying to figure out how to embed a browser window in a scene, and I have not been able to figure it out this evening. So that's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
I got to get it better at my OBS. I think what I need to do is switch over to Streamlabs OBS. Figure that shit out too.
I'll be downloading that motherfucker this week. On the stream yesterday, they talked about that Scandinavian Air commercial.
Yep.
What'd you think about it? I really didn't see a problem with it.
I think it was, the whole idea was that they kind of went with the notion that bad press is just as good as good press when it comes to advertising. Because I mean, how are you going to set a regional carrier apart? The only way you're going to do that is by getting people talking about it.
I mean, but that's just it. It's a travel company. It's not.
Well, they're an airline. I mean, it's not even a travel company. They only do one thing, and they fly regional jets around Europe.
Yeah, it's not. What the fuck? 84 lumber, which which should be encouraging build a wall. Like, build the wall, build a wall on your own, build a wall around your house. Walls are good. Build one. That should be the message of 84 lumber. Like, build a wall and then build a wall around that wall to protect your first wall. Like, that should be their message. But for a company that literally is a distribution company for people, I didn't really see the problem with it. It's travel, learn new things. And I don't expect the French to go around saying things like, we didn't invent the French kiss. We didn't invent the French fry. We have no connection with French's mustard. Allah Akbar.
Well, I think that there's a perception, mostly among affluent white folks, that Scandinavians, being mostly affluent white folks, have a bad rep, and they wanted to tout, other ethnicities, other people's contributions to society, I guess. I don't know.
But it was white people. The paperclip, American invention, that's white people. The Danish, an Austrian invention, that's still white people. It wasn't like they were shitting on themselves for the sake of minorities.
As a rube American, when you say Scandinavian, I mean, I know that's Norway, Finland, and Sweden mostly, sometimes the Netherlands, sometimes
the Danes,
the Danes and whatnot. You can consider that all, Scandinavia. But when it's not like the Swiss are excluded or the Austrians are necessarily excluded from that grouping, because you're right, they're white folks. So again, I don't understand any angle on that other than we just need people talking about our commercial, which in that case it was successful. Just the ridiculousness of a black dude talking about his Viking ancestors is just ridiculous. And if you want to talk about the Viking ancestors, that is literally the bad press of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
The Vikings weren't exactly the best people in the world. You know what I mean?
We invented mail-order brides, do-it-yourself style.
Yeah, they pretty much wiped out the indigenous population of the British Isles. They colonized literally everywhere. They were
up until the point where we found out where you came from.
Right, they were colonials before there was proper colonies. So, yeah, they aggressively exported their culture.
Yeah. I think it could have been worse. I didn't see it as a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that they're making a bigger deal out of the commercial than there needs to be. But I think that was the goal.
I didn't. I was like, Josh brought it to my attention. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with this video. Like, I'm not going to use their airline. I don't live there. But it's a bit of arrogance and it's a bit of naivete. Like, all of your favorite Chinese dishes that you order from your favorite Chinese restaurant, they were made in either New York or San Francisco.
Pretty much.
There's no General Tso. like I really enjoy his chicken. Yeah, that's not a person. They made it up.
Dim sum is absolutely a San Francisco invention.
Yeah, egg foo young. Yeah, not a thing.
When you get right down to it, any food you eat in China, Chinese food.
Yeah, and they just call it food.
Right. Yeah. Get a burger in China. That's a bit of Chinese food.
Burgers in China are called Royales with cheese.
Are they, though?
I don't think so. But I believe they use the metric system or whatever the fuck they use.
The only people that don't use the metric system are us and a couple of our colonies, I believe.
That's not true.
Sorry. I guess Liberia doesn't use metric.
China doesn't use metric either because the only people who've been to the moon are non-metric users. And that's us, Russia, and China.
Russia has not been to the moon, nor has China.
You sure?
Pretty sure of that. Now, when you say to the moon, do you mean like with probes and robotics, or do you mean with people?
Probes to the moon, not like...
Well, European Space Agency has put probes on the moon. Hell, they put probes on Mars.
What countries have been to the moon?
And I think China did it the brute force method and just launched something at the moon that landed. And it landed at a significant rate of speed.
All right, we have a list of countries that have been to the moon. And it is USA. No, just kidding. China, USA, India, Russia, Japan, and former Soviet Union. What country have landed humans on the moon? Unfortunately, landing on the moon as the 21st century is still a pretty big deal. Only 3 countries have ever soft landed on the moon. United States, the USSR, and now China.
Oh, they put something there softly. Nice.
And that was 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. The USA is the only country that's put a crew on the moon.
We're also the only people that have brought anything back, I believe.
That's under debate.
How so?
Well, we never landed on the moon, bro. I don't know what Mugugai Pan is, Steven. Isn't there like a dog carcass just floating up there from Russia? Thanks, guys. We put a dog in space. Oh, when did he land? Yeah, still up there.
No, I was sad.
What the hell was that dog's name? I can't think of it.
Ivan, I'm guessing.
Well, he was actually in Guardians of the Galaxy in the collector's collection.
Oh yeah,
and alive. But then again, so is Howard the Duck. So you take what you can get with that movie. The Vikings should be sexy, Steven. And here's why. Maybe the first Vikings weren't sexy. But if you look at Trump and then you look at Trump's daughters, you understand how the next generation could be sexier than the previous generation. Because they only took back the pretty women. So.
Well, and somebody mentioned during the stream, they're like, well, what about Iceland? I'm like, well, Iceland was pretty much still the only. They are still predominantly the same race people that the Vikings were when they landed there and conquered the island. So if you want to look at what Vikings look like, go to Iceland. And they're all a bunch of good-looking folk.
They are.
Now, they have to have apps so that they make sure they don't date too close of a cousin. But they are still very comely folk.
All right, you call your side of the family. I'll call my side of the family. We'll see how this works out.
Yeah, first dates in Iceland are pretty much 20 minutes of figuring out how you are related, because you are, and if that's okay or not.
And remember, gang, it's illegal to marry your cousin, but there's no law against having sex with them.
All right, so you want to talk about this article, or do you want to wait for Swampy?
No, we can do it. Christina Loken is descended from Norway. She's a huge proportional woman.
Now I have to look this woman up.
You don't know who Christina Loken is?
Nope. I'm bad
She's
with names.
She's the advanced robot thingy from T3.
Yeah, didn't see that movie.
You didn't see T3? What the fuck, man? You need to watch that and Us. Have you seen Get Out at least?
Is that the first Jordan Peele movie?
Yeah.
No.
It's Jordan Peele's an awesome director.
Okay.
Like, as far as his bullshit, like once you watch Get Out, you'll be like, oh wow, hey, fuck that guy. But and Us too. It's like, man, that movie is stupid, but wow, he's the guy's got talent. There's no denying. It's Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner, great talent in the directing department. Shitty politics and an awful person though. So
I was going to say, I know Jordan Peele's got buckets full of talent. That was never in question. It's just the movies he chooses to make do not appeal to me. Therefore, I will not waste my time nor money.
Yeah. Like, I could ruin it for you if you want, but we'll do that after the show, just because, like, so much talent's involved. Like, there's one point in Us when there's a murder scene, like, it's basically a killing scene, and it's completely there's so much killing involved that it just gets tedious with the amount of slaughter. And the way he starts the scene to the way he ends the scene, absolutely brilliant. Still a shit story, which is an interesting story to start with. Have you seen Ready or Not?
No.
Oh my god, it's unique, and you should give it a go, just because, like, oh, it's fucked up. Anyway, those are some choices. Interesting enough, watch T3, give or take, for Get Out and Us, and Ready or Not is both funny, dark, and has a very original ending that tickles me. So for that, now we'll get into the story of the. Of course, this comes out of Illinois. And I'm saying Illinois because fuck Illinois. The House Democrats' immigration bill would use tax dollars to import crime to America. That's from the Hill, so take it with a grain of salt. But in all honesty, they want in this bill to re-import 480,000 deported illegals that committed crimes in America. At a tune of between $1,000 and $2,000 per person, which makes it a total of $1 billion they want to spend for these flights. The idea behind it, it would decriminalize migration, as if that was the real issue here. But it jimmies with the laws on the books. And I tried to explain this to my African neighbor, who's no longer my African neighbor, but is still African and lives in the community, so he's technically a neighbor.
Okay, so I'm reading here. It says, if an alien were arrested without a warrant, i.e., basically ICE stops him, or Border Patrol stops him at the border, he would have the right to a hearing within 48 hours on whether the arresting officer had probable cause to think he was deportable.
Well, no, not even that. I'm a traffic stop. Like, you've been in the country for a year. I pull you over because you blew a light or something like that. And then I discover you're driving without a license because, one, you don't have a license, and two, no English.
Well, being in a border state, I can tell you that they have Spanish-speaking officers for exactly that purpose. And they give all the officers a phrase of, hang on, we'll get you a translator, and just sit there and wait, and somebody will show up and do the translation.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a pretty good chance if you know English in any language, I'm going to think you're not from this country. And once you say to me that you don't have a license, I'm going to ask for some other form of ID, legal ID that's accepted in America, which are government documents given to American citizens. If you don't have one, I'm going to think you're not here legally. And that just depends on how well you know English.
Well, what's interesting is that the federal government now has this thing called Real ID that you need to pass through TSA and or get into federal buildings. Our Arizona driver's licenses are not Real IDs. And will not get you through into a federal building in the United States of America, in the state of Arizona. Because they are non-compliant.
Michigan has Real ID.
Which means that I am going to have to start, if I know that I'm going to a federal building, I'm going to have to start carrying my passport. If I'm going to board a flight, even to California or to Vegas, I'm going to have to bring my passport.
That's interesting. Another thing this bill would do is it would give old crimes a pass. The bill would create a statute of limitations to prohibit the initiation of removal proceedings after more than 5 years, the date of which an alien became deportable or inadmissible, which basically means you get charged with a crime, convicted of the crime, sentenced to the crime, do the time, and then somehow get away from the deportation that takes place after the crime. If more than 5 years pass between the next time they catch up with you and the conviction, you are no longer deportable for that crime, which is absolute bullshit. Because you still did the crime.
Well, and to my knowledge, you'd still be an illegal alien and therefore subject to deportation, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, the only other way to read that is if you can lay low for 5 years, you're good.
That's what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's no way that's going to pass, and even if it does, I don't even think it would I don't think it would survive. They would have to negate so many other pre-existing laws that the courts would just immediately throw that shit out.
Yep.
Even the Looney Toony Ninth Circuit would throw that out simply because it negates so many other laws that are still currently on the books without rescinding those laws.
Like California right now has special treatment for illegals that they don't give American citizens. If you are caught driving without a license in California as an American citizen, you're stopped, you're arrested, your car's impounded. If you're an illegal person in this country, they stop you. You're given 45 minutes for someone with a license in America to pick up your vehicle, and they possibly arrest you or give you a on-the-spot ticket to appear in court at a given time. You're not given that. Like, maybe if you're lucky and you know you have no license and you stop in a parking lot and you park in a space, they won't tow your car if they're not trying to be dicks and don't want to wait around for a tow truck. But otherwise, yeah, you're pretty screwed. It would also, this bill they proposed would handcuff local law enforcement. It would prohibit state and local police from assisting ICE in the performance of enforcement activities.
Which some states have already done, California being number one of those. What's interesting is a couple of years back, and this might even be now 12 years back, we had, I think it was 107 here, maybe it was 108.
Would you say a plethora of years?
Yeah, it's been a while. But we had a state law that was supposed to grant all law enforcement officers in the state the ability to not only assist ICE, but to detain those in violation of immigration law. It passed and got struck down by the Ninth, I believe.
Man, they're really holding you back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's far beyond time for there to be another circuit. That the left coast can have their own circuit, and then we, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and I think Montana. I think Montana's in the Ninth. Can all get another circuit going for themselves to, have at least have rationality happen. Although, I've got to say that under Trump, some of the decisions the Ninth has made have been decidedly un-Ninth-like and much more reasonable than they were in the past.
Mm-hmm. It would also prohibit, or it would repeal a law which provides that no state or local government entity may be prohibited from sharing information with ICE. There's a law now that says you can't stop a state or local government from sharing with ICE. They would repeal that law. Bless me. It's sloppy, it's vague, and like the actual name of the bill is something about returning people home. The right to come home is what it's called. It's like, if you're here illegally, this isn't your home. Go to your home. Are you too good for your home? Go to it.
The open borders thing has got to stop. It just has to.
Yeah, I had to compare it with my buddy. He's here legally. He jumped through the hoops. I'm like, and I said to him, like, all right, I'm broke, I'm destitute, I have nothing, I have no home. How long can I stay with you? And he's like, well, if you needed a place to stay. I'm like, okay, I need a place to stay. How long can I stay with you? And he's like, well, like, and how long are you going to feed me while I'm there?
Right. Because
that's what we're talking about. And it's not just me, because other people are going to do it too. How many people can you provide for, and how long can you provide for them? Because that's the micro of this. In a larger context, It's the government of America, and it's thousands of people a month. You know, they're coming here with nothing because they have nothing here. How long can you provide for that? Because we're not getting the best and the brightest, even if we're not getting the illegals.
Well, all right. So I live about a half mile away from a county island that has a very dense Hispanic population, mostly Mexicans. And I'm sure that at any given moment, there are more of them there that are not U.S. citizens than are. Whether that's legal or illegal doesn't really matter. But these people do what they can to scrape by, and they work. Okay, it's not like they're not complete moochers. It's not like they demand public assistance and all this shit. A lot of them are just looking to better their lives. So I understand that. I understand that angle. I'm even sympathetic to that angle. I know that if it hit the shan and I needed to go somewhere else to try to scrape by and make a living, let's say for whatever reason the Democrats do win in America and Canada becomes more reasonable than the U.S., which is entirely possible, I would flee to Canada and try to make the best of it. Illegally. So I get that desire. What I don't understand is that, like, if I were to go to Canada and get busted, I wouldn't be demanding shit that I haven't earned. And a lot of the Mexicans here don't do that either. They're just like, I just need to gig, man. I need to put some dollars in my pocket. I need to get by and get what I can and live my life. And I'm sympathetic to that. But it's when they come up here and commit crimes, other than just being illegal, which is a crime itself, but let's say, a violent crime or a property crime that hurts somebody else or their property, that's too far. And those people need to go. They need to be, either put back where they came from or ejected. Bring back banishment and we'll just banish them. And if they show back up after having done that, they need to be incarcerated. So the first line of defense for a crime is GTFO. You come back after having that record and we find you again. I don't care if you've committed another crime or not. If we find you again, you're not supposed to be here. You can go sit in a cell somewhere and break rocks.
Well, that's another thing I brought up to him because he's talking about Trump is arresting children. All right, you're in my home, is what I told him. What happens if you kill me and the police come? You get arrested. That's all that happens. Now, what about if you're at your home and you kill your fiance? What happens then? I get arrested. No, that's not what happens then. You and her live there with the 4 kids. If you kill her, the guardian, and you, the other guardian, are arrested, those kids get taken as well. Now, they don't get put in a cage like a kennel, but if every family in this in this city did the same thing, because we're talking about tens of thousands of people, sometimes a month in certain cases, then yeah, we've overloaded the system. The next step is putting kids in a fucking stadium until we can distribute them throughout the states. And you don't do that.
Well, it's not
because the crime's local.
We don't even put them in the states. We find next of kin. And those kids go to next of kin eventually.
Eventually, though, yes. But they need to be housed in the meantime.
Right.
And that is for a local crime. you're crossing a border. You don't have proper ID. There's not even telling if you're the actual parent of the child.
Well, and that's the rub. A lot of the cases here, especially with children at the border, you can almost, I would say that it's more likely than not that the person that they're with, the adult that they're with, is not a relative.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to understand. Like you're personalizing this in a way that shouldn't be personalized. Like you don't understand it in the proper context.
Right. And that's the thing, is that most Americans are pretty magnanimous about.
I don't think that's.
I'm pretty sure that's the right
word.
About wanting to help people out, even foreigners. We're okay with, we want to help foreigners, but we have a process to do that legally, and if you circumvent that, you should not be given special compensation or special privileges for breaking that law when there is a way to come in and do it and you're choosing not to. You should be punished for that. And it's not an unreasonable expectation.
Yeah. But now I'm the first one to point out that our immigration system is flawed as fuck.
Yeah, and I mean, we need to make it a lot more streamlined, a lot quicker, and less expensive. Honestly, I mean, it's pretty darn expensive to do it the right way. So we need reform. I think almost all Americans agree that we need some sort of immigration reform, but that does not mean open borders, blow it the fuck out of the water.
Agreed.
But we can't even have that argument, because the second you want to put any level of restrictions on these people, you get called a racist, you get called a xenophobe, you get called the most horrendous shit in the world, even though you're the one that's trying to say, like, no, I'd really like to help these people out, but we got to do it in a reasonable manner that doesn't break the bank or put our societies in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. Like there's economic migration, and then there's asylum seekers, because they're not the same thing.
Not at all. Not at all. And what's interesting is we have especially here in Arizona, we have a fairly, I won't say it's workable, but it's getting the job done. Not the best way of doing it, but we have migrant workers that come in every year to help harvest crops and do other labor. And yeah, most of that money does get sent back to Mexico or wherever they're coming from. But, it's possible to do it and have that so that you don't necessarily need to be an economic migrant. Whereas the asylum seekers, number one, the system's being abused on purpose because they found the loophole of all they have to do is claim asylum. And then the courts are so freaking backed up that they're just going to disappear back into the country because we have to catch and release.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't help that there's certain people who are literally teaching courses in how to clog the system and how to game the system.
Yeah. Democrats. Because they want these people to get on the voter rolls and pad their numbers.
Yeah, the term I was looking for was Jews, but sure. Stephen makes a good point. It's the first generation of working Mexicans aren't too bad, but their offspring are terrible. That is true on many levels, because the hardworking parents who are working the 2 or 3 jobs for their kids have basically left their kids to run the streets. And in so doing, that's how we got MS-13. They ran the streets. They didn't have a group, and these little bastard bullies were banding together into groups and only terrorizing other illegal immigrants who couldn't call the cops because they were here illegally. And eventually the gangs came in with they sent their lieutenants over to organize them, and over a period of time they would eventually bust out of the migrant community that was here illegally and couldn't call the cops. And next thing you know, there's a gang on the streets of LA that have 700-800 members that, until it finally spilled over because they needed to claim another territory, the police had no knowledge of. And it happened at many different locations across the United States. Thank you, Reagan,
They're not, I mean, MS-13 and that level of quote-unquote gang activity is not really... I mean, yeah, it's gang activity. It's more cartel level shit than it is gang level shit. And I'm not saying that gangs are good, but gangs are definitely more desirable than fucking cartels. When you add the organization to the criminal element, they become much more problematic.
Word.
And what the cartels do is absolutely fucking horrific.
I agree with you there.
Like, it's some... Most Americans could not even process what cartels do on a day-to-day basis. It's so beyond the realm of the most of America's experience that they have problems processing it as reality at all.
Mm-hmm. Because of normalcy bias, yeah.
Yeah.
But as somebody who's been shot at by illegals because I was mistaken for police, I've dealt with the criminal activity from dealing with illegal aliens, and it is unlike anything that I've dealt with in my comfortable world of being a bounty hunter in fucking Detroit. It was just a gunfight in the middle of a street. It was absolutely insane. I was like on the set of Lethal fucking Weapon. That shit doesn't happen. Steven says we should avoid cartels and gangs. I agree, Steven.
Yes. I agree with that.
I've seen cartel videos on Live Leaks. I'm pretty sure I've seen some gang activity on World Star.
Yeah. But I don't... I've seen a couple of cartel videos, and I don't care to see anymore. They're fucking horrific.
Mm-hmm. But just, like, imagine how pervasive that is. Like, you are an honest cop in Mexico City, Mexico. Actually, I'm pretty sure Mexico is a country. And they have states within that country. And Mexico City is part of one of those states. But I don't know which one. But you're Mexico City. That'd be fucked up if the name of the state or province or whatever the fuck it's called is Mexico City. But anyway, so the city of Mexico City, hopefully it's a city, and a cartel member tries to buy me off, and he says that this is the normal thing we do when we buy these people off. Who can you go to at that point? If they're telling you they buy off these people, that means who can you go to? You go to your lieutenant, your sergeant. How long have they been working? How long have they been buying off the new people? You're really, honestly, you're fucked.
Yeah, if you don't become corrupt, it's either you become corrupt over a certain period of time or you die horrifically. Mm-hmm. And they don't go after you personally first; they go after those you care about first.
Mm-hmm. the ones who haven't been trained by the police.
Right. So
So
yeah, it's one of those things that it's unavoidable corruption, and um, you want to talk about a real quagmire, that's it.
and
Hello.
even if you are secretly non-corruptible, you know, who can you save up the incriminating information that you do get to tell? Because
Right.
at no point are the people who are also non-corruptible going to risk their neck to tell you that they aren't corrupted.
Well, not only that, but you're going to get tested. You're going to get tested at some point for whatever level of corruption that you will cater to, because otherwise those you love and care about will be hurt. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things that it's, even if you want to be the white knight, they won't let you.
Yeah. So 3 other people of your group of 6 will come to you with this idea of what they want to do, and then your sergeant will bust you who are involved with, and everybody who's been like a confirmed piece of shit is in on it. And if you turn on them, then you're dead, because it's the test. So it needs for another group of people to come in and take it the fuck over. And even then, that is able to be corrupt as well. So it is a hard thing to face and to fight, but it needs to be done.
Where's the blonde?
I'm impressed
wait.
that Mexico has managed to do what they have done as far as turning themselves into a border protection.
The wall.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty amazing that they've managed to do that. I mean, I'm sure that it's obviously still porous, and I'm sure that cartels are still running people. But
well, I wouldn't be surprised if the cartels were helping with the Mexico becoming the wall.
well, yeah, because it gives
Guatemala.
gives them a monopoly on moving those people.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That wouldn't shock me at all either. But that's
Yeah, a cartel doesn't make any money from Guatemalans running across the border. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were hindering it for their own needs. But if at anything, they're not hindering that process, like at the very least. But yeah, they are. I wouldn't be surprised if a fair number of the children that are being taken across the border that isn't part of their parent isn't necessarily a sex trafficking. They're not sex trafficking that child, but they're paying for the 25 pounds of whatever drug of your choice that their parents had previously walked across the border when they escaped. Like, this is the payment, is we're giving them back their child because they did their job. So yeah, there's a large number of the people that have kids with them aren't related to those kids.
yeah. I would say that it's probably more than 50%. That the children that are coming across that are being detained, that everybody's got their bleeding hearts in a sling about, that they're being trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not their relatives, most likely.
And fuck any immigrant I see waving their new iPhone as a recording device when they're being harassed for not being able to get into the country. It's bullshit. Plus, I hate iPhones. I hear Garrick's with us. Hey, Garrick.
Hey guys, what did I miss?
We're not fucking recapping for you.
Just a TLDR. Come on, quick topics.
We're basically at the end of covering the let my people in law from that they're trying to get from basically it's coming out of Illinois that all the squad are backing.
Of course.
Yeah, Omar, Presley. The fuck's her name? Who's the hot one with crazy eyes? That one. Rashida Tlaib.
Well, what's interesting is that the two Congress people that are listed here, one is Jesus de Chuy Garcia from Illinois, not a border state, and Pramila Jayapal from Washington State, which is
Technically a border state.
Is a border state, but not the southern border. Is Illinois a border state?
Technically, it's part of the Great Lake. No. No, it's below Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I guess the other side of the lake is Michigan, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, not a border state.
Hey, Garrick, have you seen Us or Get Out?
No. I did see a trailer for a new Vin Diesel movie. What's that about? Kind of looks cyberpunkish.
Probably about 93 minutes.
Yeah. Beat me to it. I was going to say I literally was going to say 97 minutes. The one where he gets blasted in the face and it's like his face comes back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a video game?
This is what it looks like. It said something about heroes getting an upgrade or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Probably just another comic book movie.
It looks kind of Chronicles of Riddick-y. So maybe right up the alley.
The first movie of the Chronicles of Riddick was, what was that, Pitch Black? Was remarkably good. The second one, not so much. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but it was definitely less of an art piece.
Sure.
Yeah, it was less of art. I still enjoyed it. Yeah. The fuck was it?
Well, the second one was Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh wait, was it? I thought that was
the Necromancer.
Yeah. All right. So
something like
Pitch
that.
Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all three of them.
I don't know that I've seen Riddick.
It takes place on another alien planet with aliens, and like he escaped there to get away from like the bounties, and bounty hunters ended up there and were hunting him down.
Oh yeah. Okay, I did see that one.
Like he makes a pet of one of the monsters.
Wait, was it because Chronicles of Riddick had an all-star cast that you think kind of took away from it?
No, it was more the material of whatever that supposedly alien race was. You know, basically the Deadites or the Necromancers or whatever the fuck they were.
Oh yeah.
That's not an all-star cast. Thaddy Newton and Carl Urban.
Hey, it was before Carl Urban hit big.
Yeah. And then who's the chick that plays M from GoldenEye? What's her name?
Judi Dench.
Oh yeah, Judi Dench was that? She was an Elemental.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, Judi Dench takes a lot of roles. That doesn't mean that they're all winners.
Yeah, she's like the English version of Robert De Niro.
Yeah, she was in Cats. So.
Oh God, no.
Speaking of, it's looking pretty bad for you, Idris Elba. You will definitely agree to be James Bond. I see that.
Oh,
now.
There's a new James Bond movie coming out too, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but it's still.
I just have not enjoyed any of the Daniel Craig Bond movies.
I liked Pierce Brosnan.
I like Roger Moore.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Well, Sean Connery's a better Bond, But as far as enjoyable movies, every single one of Roger Moore's Bond movies is incredibly enjoyable.
Okay, yeah. Who did Moonraker?
Roger Moore.
And
And Octopussy and Never Say Never Again.
Who has the most memorable?
I'm gonna go with Brosnan. Bronston.
Pierce Brosnan.
I,
And
I'm not spelling
again,
it,
that
that's
was
for damn
back
sure.
back when they cast Timothy Dalton. I was like, why? Why cast Timothy Dalton when Pierce Brosnan exists? He's obviously built for the Bond role.
Yeah.
Tim did okay, but he could have. Yeah, Brosnan was clearly better.
Tim Dalton, those were some hokey fucking ones. Like, Am was using a fucking broom as a radio, and I'm like, you could make a smaller radio. Like, you have an entire goddamn broom at your service.
Well, the only thing that Timothy Dalton had going for him is he had the original Q.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan didn't have Q in all of his movies, did he?
Didn't he have John Cleese?
I think he did.
I think it was John Cleese, yeah.
Yeah, but the original
Definitely better Q than
second Brosnan one, and then he retired, right?
let's check. What the fuck was the first GoldenEye?
Goldeneye,
Yeah.
I think, was the first Brosnan movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Femke Johnson. Yes, please. Let's check. GoldenEye. And of course, Sean Bean's killable, so that's not hard for anybody.
Quick, name a movie Sean Bean didn't die in.
Silent Hill.
Okay.
Steven, double check me on that. Femke Johnson. Judi Dench was M. Robbie Coltrane was in it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Fucking Alan. Yeah, Desmond. Yeah, it was. Original Q was for GoldenEye.
Yeah, but
Well, not original, but
pretty sure the original Q didn't make it all the way through all the Brosnan movies.
yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. That's 2 years later.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Is that Brosnan?
Yeah, with Jonathan Pryce, Terry Thatcher looking fucking gorgeous. Also Q.
Oh, very important movie that Sean Bean doesn't die in. Troy.
Died. I don't remember him in Troy.
I don't think I saw Troy.
Oh.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he was. World Was Not Enough. It was also Q. Was Desmond Llewellyn.
National Treasure. He didn't die in that one.
He was in National Treasure?
Oh, yeah, with Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was the main baddie, though, wasn't he?
3 of 4. Yeah, Desmond Llewellyn was 3 of 4. Q was John Cleese in Die Another Day.
Okay.
Which was the one with the guy that had the embedded diamonds. Like the albino Chinese guy and Jinx Johnson. I think Michael Madsen was. Yeah, Michael Madsen. Yeah, those some good ones. Ryan Newman's still alive, but in critical condition. Oh, Ryan Newman was hurt. Oh yeah, I read about that.
Best Bond theme song?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know him well enough to tell you.
For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I was going to go with Goldfinger, but that's a good one.
Yeah, that was also a good one.
View
but
to a
the
Kill.
ending just.
View to a Kill.
Oh, okay, yeah, View to a Kill. Hey, let's get Adele to do our song. Jesus Christ. Well, who did they have? They had Adele, Madonna.
Dalton only did 2? I thought he did 3.
I think he did 3.
According to this, it was Living Daylights and License to Kill, and that was it. Because then Goldeneye came in '95. I just don't like Daniel Craig as Bond.
I don't like Christopher Walken as.
See, that's the only movie that the world would have been in a better place had the villain won.
Yeah. Oh, Tanya Roberts was in it.
Never Say Never Again is a non-canon Bond film.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, it's because Sean Connery came back to play Bond in 1983 while Roger Moore still had the main role.
Hmm.
And what's interesting is they don't show that the movie that they have Moneypenny and Q are in, and I think M is in as well, but it doesn't have James Bond. It has James Bond's brother. Operation 00007, I think it was called.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
No, it is a thing. I guarantee you it's a thing. Because it stars Sean Connery's brother. And again, Moneypenny is in it, and M is in it, and I think Q is in it. Operation 007. Yeah, Operation 007 is the name of the movie.
Yeah, Timothy Hunt only did 2.
I could have sworn he did 3.
I looked him up as
Is
James
this another
Bond.
Mandela effect thing?
Possibly. It's Living Daylights and License to Kill.
I could have sworn he did 3.
Oh, you know what you're thinking of? Flash Gordon.
How am I thinking of Flash Gordon?
I don't know. I got nothing. Benicio del Toro was a Bond villain.
In what?
License to Kill. That was a fucking dark movie. Like, let's feed Felix to a bunch of sharks.
Go, dog. There you go. So how was Ski Doggy Hour there, Garrick?
Ski Doggy was not there, surprisingly.
I don't believe
Stan
you.
was there, though, so he filled the space. Matt did say that he got a CP-33. Pretty neat little pistol.
The hell's a CP-33?
It's from Caltech.
22 long rifle?
Indeed.
Is that a subgun?
It's just a pistol, but it comes with a brace and threaded and fucking awesome 33 round mag.
Yeah, it's a varmint.
Does that have a
gun.
full rail on top, like a target pistol?
It does. It does indeed, and it's got a lot of overhang at the back, which I'm not sure
Yeah.
why.
It's a competition pistol, is what it's marketed as. So
It's a varmint gun.
My favorite Bond girl was Sophia
I gotta admit,
Marceau
she
for
is
some
pretty
reason.
damn good looking. She's a Catherine Zeta-Jones knockoff, but in a good way.
Well, there were actually a lot of um, really really good looking Bond girls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't think of one I'd kick out of bed right off the top of my head, but
The best Bond
Grace
girl is
Jones. Grace Jones. That's who I'd kick out of bed. She
you probably wouldn't. She'd probably rock your world.
She wouldn't let me kick her out of bed. That girl could fuck me up.
Yep, pretty much. No, by far the best Bond girl is Jane Seymour.
Not gonna argue with that. I don't know, Denise Richards as something Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it is. It's just
The only reason they have that character is for the joke at the very end.
yeah, that's the only reason I can remember her name.
Wait, what's the joke?
I thought
Oh,
Christmas only comes once a year.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
It was the most lewd joke of any of the one-liners in any Bond movie.
Yes. Ugh.
It really was. I got nothing.
Nothing.
Let's talk about Bond girls. Like one of them was a tranny, I think, and one of them had a toe thumb.
There was a tranny in Bond movies. That is true.
I'm going through them. Let's see what we got.
That tranny was also in Playboy.
Well, my compliments to her surgeon.
Let's see. Is there a list?
There's a few lists.
Girls list.
Yeah,
we
she's
go.
good.
I've got
Ursula Andress.
there's a 2002 Bond Girls Are Forever documentary that I'm on because it's got pictures next to them all.
Let's see who else is in here that would be memorable.
I forgot Michelle Yeoh was a Bond girl technically.
Jill St. John.
Oh, man.
Rosamund Pike shouldn't count. Well, I guess a lot of them were villains.
3 of them are dead. 4 of them are dead.
Elisa Soto.
Oh, there's got to be way more than that.
5. 6. 7.
Oh, wait. When was Denise Richards a Bond girl?
She was Christmas, dumbass.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I literally just
How
said
does
that
this list
one.
not have Jane Seymour in it?
She was in the documentary. She played herself. I mean, it was a documentary.
And who was the Bond girl the Bond girl that ended up on that 70s show? Played the main chick's mom.
Oh, Tanya Roberts.
Is that Tanya Roberts? She's
Yeah.
not in this list either. This list sucks.
Here, I'll give you this one. Where you want it? In the Hangout?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
For some reason, Bob Anderson's on here. That's weird.
Olga Kurilenko? She's good looking.
I'm checking my list to see if Tanya Roberts is on it. Famke Janssen. Christopher Lee. This must be just...
Oh, this must be one from each movie because there were several movies that were like 2 or 3 of them in there.
Well, how many are on your list? If there's 25, or well, 24.
Keep scrolling.
Ooh, mine might have Tanya
They only
Roberts.
list one, but they start listing 2 right around For Your Eyes Only.
Diana Rigg was a Bond girl? Really?
Yeah, she was Tracy DaVincio.
That might be the only one that could give Jane Seymour a run for her money.
Fucking Tanya Roberts, bro. They're calling Judi Dench a Bond girl.
Well,
No.
technically.
No,
Pretty sure you have to have sex with James Bond.
exactly.
Which one was the tranny? Was it Maud Adams? Might have been. No, because she was American. Yeah, Tanya Roberts before she was blonde. Marianne Diabo. She was also a hot one.
Yeah,
she just had a really bad movie.
Are you sure?
License to Kill, the second Dalton movie. Yeah.
I didn't.
Carrie Lowe. I gotta figure out which one is Isabella Soprano. She's pretty hot. Famke Jensen. Well, yeah, Famke Jensen.
Huh?
She might also give Jane Seymour a run. Terry Hatcher.
Caroline Cossey. British model.
I see Carrie right there. Carrie Lowell. If she wouldn't have cut her hair,
Wait a minute.
probably solid.
Eva Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, she played Vespa in the Daniel Craig Bond girl.
No. Okay. Was that Quantum of Solace?
No, it was before Quantum, wasn't it?
Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know what you said, but it sounded like a Mexican dish
Casino Royale.
or an Indian dish. Quantum of Solace.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it's heavy with curry, but it's delicious.
Fair enough.
All right. So now I got to look up which one was the tranny.
I just did. It was who was it?
Caroline
It was
Cossey.
Caroline Cossey, yeah. British model.
First transgender Playboy model as well.
All right, going to that's a man, baby.
Stephen, why you didn't tell me that Christina Loken was involved in the happening? Should have known.
That is an amazing tranny.
Yeah.
There's a picture of her in a bikini. Excellent work. Whoever did whatever they did to that. Oh, there's definitely some wrong going on here, because that is there's pictures and it's not the right picture. Like there's certain ones like I wouldn't be surprised if Trisha Huffner was a tranny, just because of her height and her hands and her. Pretty sure she'd kick my ass.
It says Aspen Brook was also one. I don't know who that is.
Sounds like that would be the Bond girl's name.
That's going to make my search history all fucked up.
Are you saying that's a tranny? Because that name sounds fake as fuck.
What?
Aspen Brook.
Came up in a search for tranny Bond girl, so.
Oh, okay. Because that sounded fake as fuck.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was probably, Bob Henson or something like that when it was born, so.
Ryan Newman is being treated at Halifax Medical Center. He is in serious condition, but non-life threatening.
Who's that?
The NASCAR driver that got into a pretty bad accident today.
Oh. Today? Like
It's
after
trending.
The race? After the race?
No, it was definitely in the race because I'm seeing his car. It's all fucked up. I'm watching season 2 of Jack Ryan. I might have mentioned that earlier. They're in Venezuela. So it's basically clear and present danger. And I'm like, huh. All right, so John Clark's going to survive. Yeah, they killed him. It's like, son of a bitch. Like, I guess we're taking some licenses with Tom Clancy's work. Speaking of taking licenses, I finally watched It, the remake. Congratulations on not having sex with underage girls. I appreciate that. Because that premise was weak as fuck. Ooh, that car gets some air. I just got a picture from James Woods. That car is a good 10 feet in the air at one point.
Hang on. Let me see if I can. What's James Woods' Twitter handle?
Real James Woods?
Hold on, I'll send it. I'll send the picture to Gun Club. You just click from there.
I don't even know if I was. Nope. Guess they didn't. I was following him. I guess once they kicked him, that was gone.
Yeah, I was blocked by him. Booyah! I'm back. No, actually, I lost all my followers. So.
That's that's airborne, baby.
I mean, especially for a car in a not Lethal Weapon movie.
Well, I mean, when you're doing 240 around the curve, yeah, it doesn't take much air to lift your ass up.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how fast the Beast got on the track.
That's a good question. I mean, I know it can move, but it takes a while to get there.
Yeah. Well, they said that because of the weight, it probably couldn't do very fast turns in the curves.
Well, it's like a 20,000-pound vehicle.
It weighs more than a tank.
Yeah.
How's that possible, though?
Well, it's first off, it's built on a truck chassis.
Yeah.
So
and it's armored with like 3 or 6 inches of depleted uranium.
Is it?
I think so.
That's insanely heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
look at a
sealed.
picture of the Beast with the door open.
Oh yeah, that's a great example. It's like an airlock each door.
Yeah, I'm betting the inside of the Beast isn't really huge and comfortable.
Huge, I would say no, but comfortable, yeah.
It's probably pretty comfortable, but yeah, it's
roomy. No, comfortable.
Yes. Yeah, not roomy at all. 2-3 people max.
Yeah, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Really, I mean.
Did you guys see Air Force One buzz the racetrack?
Yeah.
Did they? Was that an actual?
Yes, it buzzed
I
the
was-
racetrack.
I wasn't sure if that was a joke headline or not.
Nope, totally for real. I saw the video.
Dr. Eugene Gu is still going strong. I can't believe that. The difference between the coronavirus and the flu is while the flu is statistically much more likely to kill you, you're much less scared of it, and it makes for a more boring media story.
I don't think you're more likely to die of the flu.
Yeah.
Only if you're older, young. I mean, the fact that the flu comes around every year gives you a more statistical probability of getting hit by it. But how do I get out of this thing?
Why are we still seeing Bond Girl on the screen?
I'm working on it. Hang on, I got to figure out how to get out of it.
I don't mind.
Back.
Well, we were talking Hollywood chicks on the Ski Doggy Hour as well, and I brought up, I think.
Shit. Hang on, folks. Fell out of the hangout.
Anna?
Yep.
You're gonna have to repeat that because that fell off stream.
Anna. Wait, where'd my mic go? That's why I fell off stream.
No, it fell off stream because I fell out of the hangout.
Oh, okay. So it's ANA space DE space ARMAS.
And what is this?
The hottest? No, dude. For me, period. It's Kate Beckinsale from Van Helsing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the topic?
I can tell you what, Kate Beckinsale has range. She can play a golf chick. She can play the vampire hunter. She can play the mom in Click. Yeah.
What was the topic that you guys were talking about?
I was just saying.
It was just hot girls of the whatever.
Yeah, we had brought it up in Matt's stream because they started talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh,
And, you know,
so it's just hot chicks.
He has his unhealthy obsession with Wide Eyes. What's her face? Not Sophie Turner, the other one.
I don't watch Game of Thrones. No, I'm this chick's like on par with Steven, what's the chick from Buffy? Played Faith. Erica Dushku.
Elijah Dushku.
Elijah
no.
Dushku.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
She's way hotter.
Anya Charlotta.
Hmm.
Anya Charlotta.
The fuck is that?
Yennefer.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me Google Yennefer.
Oh, that girl is pretty hot. Then she gets transformed. I'm not down with it anymore.
I'm sorry. The scene where she walks into that banquet. Holy shit.
I'm like, hey, one humper too.
Yeah, just
She looks nothing like the chick from the video game, though, is the problem.
she does. Only in that scene though. I mean, she's close and she hits it in that scene perfectly. Like here, I'll pull this picture up.
I'm looking at it.
I do remember her coming in at that scene. She's gorgeous in that scene.
Yeah, that scene is Yennefer to a frickin' T. She nailed it. But
That was it.
yeah, other than that, I've got some issues with her. But yeah, this gal, just incredible in that role. For that one scene, anyway.
Where we're looking?
It's on the stream.
I don't know.
I think the only problem with Kate Beckinsale is she's too old for me.
Again, Kate Beckinsale, Van Helsing.
Oh, here's a good one of the. Let me get rid of this, and then
Is
we'll
this
pull
going to be
this.
on the stream or here?
I'm putting it on the stream.
Okay.
Here is the Witcher 3 version of Yennefer on the left, and the actress in the show on the right.
Skip to live.
Well, and live is probably 90 seconds delayed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about.
That's why it's gonna take me a minute.
Well, here, I don't know if this is the picture you're using, but this is the one I found. It's in the Hangout.
Bring that down. Oh man.
There's a girl in about 7 years is gonna be gorgeous. She's on the movie Babysitter, the Netflix movie Babysitter. She plays like a kid, and like if she just grows up right, she's gonna be gorgeous.
Damn it!
But as of right now, she's
Hangout again.
She's 12.
Billy King's sister is fucking gorgeous. I'm trying to find her. Is it Hunter King? Yeah, Hunter.
Yeah, that's the picture that I had up there originally. That's when she walks into that banquet scene. She nails it in that scene. But the other one was this one, which is we've got Yennefer and then Witcher 3 here, and then the actress there. It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's Hunter King.
Ooh, they got this one chick that's doing the cosplay. Oh, nailed it.
Yeah, share that one because there are several out there that nail it a lot better than the actress. Probably can't act for shit. That's the problem, but they nail the look right.
Here you go.
Hunter King has a sister, Joey. That's all it's showing.
King's the star, but I forget where Hunter King's been in.
Yeah, see, that's a perfect. They nailed it with the cat cosplay. That is spot the hell on.
Yep.
And if some company isn't making lilac and gooseberries perfume, they're missing out on a huge opportunity.
I'm not spelling it, but Alexandria Daddario is also gorgeous.
She's older than she looks, though. Surprised the hell out of me.
Not old enough though, because she played a fucking 40-year-old baby. Not a 40-year-old baby, but she was in not the newest, but the second to last newest, Leatherface. I think it was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D or some shit. And she was playing. It's a severed timeline, so it's the original, which took place in '78 or whatever. And then 1 happens, 2 happens, and this is the third one, 3D. Even though there's 4 other movies between 2 and this one.
6? She's not 40. She's getting there, though.
Yeah, well, this is from like 2012, 2013, something like that.
Okay.
And she's like 27 in the movie, but she's supposed to be playing a 40-year-old. And I'm like, no.
Nah, you fucked up there.
Yeah.
That was a miscast.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she hasn't done much. Looks like she's making her chops in soap operas. That's unfortunate. Yeah, she looks the part, though.
What else we got? We're going on 2 hours here.
Predictions for Nevada and South Carolina?
Going to Bernie, stolen by booty juice.
Which one?
Who's gonna drop out first?
Actually,
Biden
both.
Biden or Warren? You think both at the same time?
No. I was going for both South Carolina and Nevada are both going to Bernie, but are going to get adjudicated to booty juice. Mm-hmm. Warren's going to stay in longer than Biden.
I have a feeling too.
Yeah, well, I think Biden is actively trying to tank his own run. I don't think he wants it.
Yeah.
Again, that goes back to my theory that the only reason he did announce that he was going to run is so they could do the impeachment thing.
Yeah. The only person less successful than Joe Biden in the 2020 campaign is Joe Biden in the 2008 campaign. And the only one who did worse than Joe Biden in the 2008 campaign was Joe Biden in the 88 campaign.
Yeah, where he had to drop out for plagiarism.
Okay, question. Since the Boogaloo has been called off, at least temporarily, and coronavirus isn't nearly as bad as they said it was, and it doesn't look like the Dems can't get their ass together to make a good campaign and Trump's going to win anyway, what's the next big existential threat for America?
Still the Boogaloo. I don't know where you thought the Boogaloo was. You're mistaken. All right, here's where you're wrong. The right isn't starting the Boogaloo.
Right.
The right will never start. It's the same premise that I've been fighting with for 20 years since a man with grenades came to my militia compound. The right will never start this shit. We love the country, hate the government. We're not going to do something to because for as much as we hate what's happening, we're still big supporters of the police. So if we start some shit, like we take over a federal building, the first people on scene are still going to be cops. We're not going to do something like that. And we're reasonable and responsible with our firearms. It's got to be the left doing shit like running into fucking registration tents for Trump supporters.
That's true. Oh,
it's literally Trump supporters. It's not Republican supporters. They were aiming for Trump supporters. So the Boogaloo is still on for 2020. Just look closer to December.
I do have one small update for news. So you remember last year they had that guy that was burning down black churches here in Louisiana?
Do you ever do that on like a Tuesday, or do you only throw your fucking rounds on Mondays?
It's only on Mondays.
Yeah, I figured. I don't remember. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember the churches burning, the black churches.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a black guy?
No, it was a white guy, and he has pled guilty. So that's the latest development.
Is he a racist white guy?
I mean, he burned down black churches. I'm willing to bet there's an element of racism to it. I can get you the article if you like.
No.
What?
What the fuck is Mugugai pants, Steven? What is this shit?
Fake Chinese food.
I've just seen a fuck ton of mushrooms and bean pods. Looks like some watercress. I don't know what that is, but there's a thing. What is that shit? Okay, because there's a large enough group of people here. What is ordered in?
Hang on, this is pertinent because it has to do with Chinese food.
Mine's not particularly pertinent. Go ahead.
Lauren Chen has a tweet out. It says she introduced dairy to her carnivore diet, and I previously was avoiding it, but since starting to carnivore everything, I thought I knew about what I should or shouldn't eat is thrown into the question, so I figured, man, I'll try it. Guys, I ate so much Chinese today, you have no idea. It's pretty much what her boyfriend says every day.
Nice. Chinese really isn't carnivore, though. Like, you can't have rice. You can't have watercress. Like, all you can have is meat. So unless you're eating chicken and beef, or chicken and broccoli, minus the broccoli, or peppers and onions, or what? No, beef and onion, whatever the fuck. You're only eating like a quarter of any plate you order. So, yeah.
What the hell is a cockatiel? Sean, we might have found somebody who's a worse speller than you, and that's saying something.
It's cockatiel.
Look, man, Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
My grandpa used to have a my grandpa had a bunch of cockatiels, and he slowly over the course of a couple months killed them all. And it was like, it hurt me so bad not to laugh at this, but I was like 15 or 16, and he had these two that he named Kodo and Podo, which is from the Beastmasters, no, that's different ones. Paco and Taco, those two. One of them was flying around the house, and it hit the window next to his chair, and the other one was on the back of the chair. And when he got up to make sure that it wasn't injured, it fell off the chair. So my grandpa got up, grabbed the bird, sat back down. The bird was dead, and he crushed his other cockatiel. And it was much funnier the way he told the story, but I'm a dick.
That's terrible. Now I have a sad again.
You should have heard the story. It's fucking hilarious.
He just can't quite land the delivery.
Oh, it was definitely a delivery because the man had tears in his eyes. And, oh god. I loved my grandpa. My grandpa was a great guy, but fuck, I just wanted to laugh in his face so hard for this story, like how he sat and killed on his bird. Oh goddamn, that's funny. So warm in here, or is this just hell?
Do either of you guys follow Adreno Whitehall?
No.
Negative.
Adrindro Whitehall? You guys should. He's hilarious.
Oh, that reminds me. I found a rather funny YouTube comedy sketch. It's slow to start, but man, it's funny at the end. Where? Library. Where do I? Okay, there we go.
I got a kick out of a Monty Python sketch the other day about the Ministry of Arguing.
Dude, the argument sketch is probably the best Monty Python skit ever.
We're going to have an argument. This isn't an argument.
This is just contradiction. No, it isn't. Yes, it is.
Oh, God. All right. We're all done here?
I think so.
Wrap this up.
We're going to find the button.
I had 3 things in this desk, and I just managed to knock 2 of them off. Nice. All right. Sending the links out.
Any last words there, Garrick?
No.
Okay.
Not everybody.
Night.
Yeah, night.
Okay.